Okay, today is June 22nd, 2010. We're at Family Reunion at Pagosa Springs, and I've been asking some people to tell stories of important or memorable events in their lives, and Mom has thought up a few things, and she's going to tell us them.
Yeah, I just want to tell a couple of short stories. When my sister and I were young, we didn't have a whole lot of money, or our parents didn't have a whole lot of money, and my sister and I had to eat, and the rest of the family, we ate oatmeal mush or cracked wheat mush every morning, every single morning, with milk on it. And
Same thing every day.
same thing every single day except Sunday we got to eat Post Toasties cornflakes, and that we just thought that was the most delicious thing, the most delicious breakfast ever.
And this sister's Cleona.
And my sister is Cleona, and she taught me that this mush was very nasty and I should not eat it or I would be probably poisoned and grow up stunted and everything and stupid. And so we thought of a lot of little tricks to get rid of our mush every morning. I doubt if we would eat more than 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons probably every morning. We would sneak it into our apron pockets, which we wore, or our skirt pockets if we had some. We would, I don't know what my mother thought when she did the washing, and we would put it in other people's, the rest of our siblings seemed to enjoy it and appreciate it, and they got up, they ate their food, they got up and they left it. We would put a little spoonful in each of their dishes around. But what I've often wished I had was a little dog, a little indoor dog, that I could sneak him the food. But no, our dogs were not allowed to come in. Once in a while, though, we could go to the bathroom and maybe sneak a little bite or two in the toilet. And that was outside, so I don't know, I can't remember if we actually gave any to the dogs when we went outside. When I was young, my sister, and when she was older also, was very organized and kept everything in the house as neat as she possibly could. She liked things to be in their proper place and to be dusted and swept. She didn't want the house to be messy. I really didn't care. But she kept things really neat and clean, and I think my mother recognized that, and so she would put Cleona in charge of keeping the house clean, especially when it was time for my mother to go to town on Saturdays, where she would go to town and spend most of the day there, because my mother was one that liked to shop carefully, compare prices at 2 or 3 stores before she bought even a small item. And so Cleona was left home, and she would do her best to get me to help her clean the house, which she sometimes got pretty discouraged doing. After a while, my mother recognized that I wasn't doing too good on the housework, and she told me to herd the cows, which I did every day in the summer, as I remember, or almost every day. And I would go out with the cows, and it wasn't like I heard them a long ways, just through this small town of Kirtland, along the ditch bank. The ditches weren't covered then, and the grass grew along the ditch bank more readily than it did in other places. So the cows just slowly ambled along the ditch bank and ate the grass, and that was kind of like free pasture for us, so it was valuable. And nobody in Kirtland objected. That was fine. I didn't ever see another child out herding cows along the ditch bank. I don't remember that ever, but people thought that was fine. But sometimes I would find a book. Books were very valuable to me. We didn't go to the library, and there weren't that many books in the house, but I guess somebody would loan me one once in a while. Sometimes I would get a book to read. And so I would just get so engrossed in those books that the cows would get into people's yards and mess up their yard or their garden or something. I remember getting in lots of trouble for that, and people yelling at me, and 2 boys that lived there close, Conrad Visage and Danny Hensman, would throw rocks at me. And nobody threw rocks at Cleona, I remember, because she didn't mess up the neighborhood. Is that enough?
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll add that the cows spend most of their day eating, but sometimes they do rest for a short while, and they chew their cud as they rest. And these cows would get very contented sometimes, lie down in the shade under the tree, and they would allow me to kind of halfway sit or recline on them. I could just kind of sit there and read. As long as they were resting there, I knew I had some free time to read. That was a good time.